Hey everybody, it's Carolyn in sunny Virginia Beach. It's a hot one today. My AC cranking. Maybe I should put up a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's good. So, why am I talking to you today? The main reason I'm talking to you today is because we were talking in the forum, in the chat room, about adhesive, and in particular adhesive use for newbies to dentures, and even more particularly adhesive use for newbies to dentures who also had extractions on the same day. So we're talking to people with immediate dentures, and of course we'll talk to the rest of you guys too. But for the immediate denture wearers, there's always a lot of question about when can you use adhesive, because the doctors always don't use adhesive on your extraction sites, but they never say don't use adhesive. They just say don't use it on your extraction sites. So that's where you have to get a little bit creative. So there's a few methods that you can use, and you can use these methods in conjunction with other methods, so you can kind of mix and match and see what works for you. And also a quick reminder that what works for one person may not work for another person. So if you buy Fixing It with Food Seal and you want to tell everybody how awesome it is, it may not work for somebody else. So what works for me that I love may not work for you at all. So I'm just going to give you some awesome ideas, and then you can run with them and see if they work and if they're awesome. And if they're not awesome, you can, also share your experiences about that. Comment below. Early day, past E-Day, you're talking 3 days or so, all of a sudden the shrinking starts. Maybe 4 days, because 3 days is a bad day. But by day 4, your shrinking should start happening, and your swelling is going to come down, and all of a sudden the dentures that were too tight are now too loose. And you will know this because the back of the denture is going to drop down, and it's going to interfere with your speech. And even worse, the dentures moving around in your mouth will cause sore spots. So it's important to nail those things down. Don't want them moving at all. So, how do you do that without messing with your extraction sites? The first one I'm going to discuss is the powders. If your dentures are kind of loose, but not really that loose, but enough that they're causing, rubbing, up at the top, right up in here, or at the bottom right here, you want to just kind of tack them down a little bit. And how you do that with powder is you get them wet, and then you just put powder on the areas that do not come in contact with your extraction sites. So for the upper, you want to do the roof of the mouth only. Maybe the outside flanges, but you want to be careful not to get it in the actual tray area, because you don't want it come in contact with your stitches, and you don't want it coming in contact with your extraction sites. From what I understand, Fixident powder is safe for stitches, but I wouldn't take any chances just in case. So if you want to use the Polygrip powder or the Fixident powder, you want to put it on a wet denture, and then take the opportunity to wipe out the tray area with a piece of gauze really carefully, or a Q-tip or something, so that there's no adhesive in the area that comes in contact with your extraction sites or your stitches. And then you want to, once again, wet the top of where you put that powder. So a little spritzer bottle or something like that, and a quick swish in your mouth with water, and that should get everything good and wet, and that will hold that Polygrip and Fixident powder that will help provide the seal. So again, nowhere near your extraction sites. Again, do the same thing on the lowers, but it's much more difficult on the lowers, because most of the surface of your lowers comes in contact with where your extraction sites are. So you want to try to get it on the flanges only, and the little wings that come down on the outside and the inside of your ridge. I guess that's called the ridge. Anyway, just the wings or the flanges. And what I found, and I think what a lot of people find, is you need a more secure hold on your lower than you do on your upper. Usually your upper stays up pretty well, but the lower is the one that has less surface to grip, because there's no palate area there. So you may want to go to a paste for your lower. And there's nothing wrong with buying every single product that they make and trying them all out. I think some people are a little more frugal, and it's okay to be frugal, but just be advised that what you buy might not work for you, just like what works for me might not work for you. So you may want to go to a paste on the lowers, and again, you want to adhere only the outside flange and maybe a little bit of the inside flange, but you want to make sure it doesn't even scrape against the area that you have extractions or that you have stitches. And you want to start with a very dry denture, and a little bit goes a long way. So if you use a little bit and it doesn't hold, don't think that means that you need to put more on. It just means that you did something wrong. It also means that you're not using sealant on 100% of the surface of the denture. And this is an important thing to know. When you are early days and you can't put sealants or adhesives rather on the entire surface of the denture, you're essentially tacking it down. And when you tack it down, just the motion of talking, taking a drink of water or eating, it will rock that thing loose, and it will rock it loose far faster. So if Fixident says, oh, we hold for 12 hours, it's not going to hold for 12 hours. It's not gonna. You're going to probably have to reapply adhesive several times a day. And many of you know that I usually work somewhere between 7 in the morning all the way up until midnight. In my early days, I was reapplying adhesive 3 and 4 times a day, because that's how often those little, I almost said a bad word, those little effers pop loose. They pop loose all the time in the early days, and that's because you cannot get a good seal when you're not using adhesive on the full surface. So you're not doing it wrong, and the company is not misrepresenting their product. It's just because you can't give it a full coating. So when you use your paste, make sure your denture is absolutely dry. Use a little bit, just put just a little bit, not what they say in the picture. And for God's sake, don't put stripes on there, because if you put stripes on there, it's just going to pop loose in like 2 hours, and it's going to be embarrassing, and it's going to be a messy, gooky mess, so you're not going to be able to get out of your mouth. So you want to smear it really, really good so that it's just a film, and then go ahead and get the denture wet. Yes, I know I said that. And let it set for about 20 seconds. Make sure there's absolutely no adhesive while it's setting. You know, use your Q-tip. Make sure there's no adhesive anywhere where your stitches are or anywhere where your extraction sites are. And then go ahead and put it in your mouth. I heard one time on the forum someone said, boy, if I could use that paste that the dentist used, I would be good to go, because that was, you know, stuck in my mouth for 2 days. He's not using anything different than you're using. He used a different method. So, I had linked that in my last video, Dr. Funk's method for putting the adhesive on. I don't know if it's necessarily his method, but he's the one that videoed it, so therefore it's his. And it really worked out beautifully for me, and it should work out pretty well for you. But again, early days, your dentures are not going to stay in your mouth for 12 hours. So don't expect it, and don't be surprised if it happens. If you use too much adhesive, they're going to pop out even faster. So be very, very careful with how much you use. And it's going to get real frustrating trying to get that crap out of your mouth. And use mouthwash and a paper towel. And then mouthwash and paper towel. Maybe some gauze. And then a toothbrush, mouthwash, paper towel. And after about an hour, it should be out. So, early day adhesion processes with paste and with powders goes, you know, the 2 ways that I told you. Then there is a third paste that I want to talk about, and that is Secure. Secure is a phenomenal adhesive that actually lasts longer than both the Polygrip and the Fixident, especially if you do it right. But you have to be super duper careful with Secure, because Secure actually will swell when it gets exposed to water. So make sure that you use a very, very thin film. Don't do the strips, the stripes of the picture. Don't do that. Put it very thin film. And with that one, I don't know if it works with that get it wet and wait 20 seconds method, because it swells in contact with moisture. So you want to be careful with that, because if you don't, your upper denture will come down and your lower denture will come up because it's puffy. And then, of course, you'll lose your adhesion. So that would be a really good option, especially for your lowers, especially early days, but at any time. Secure is a super adhesive and not available in stores. You do have to go online to get it. You can get the link from the Dentures A New Smile forum, or also it's on Amazon. And then I want to talk finally about cushion grip. What is cushion grip? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a cushion that grips. It's a some kind of polymer thing. Lots of chemical names, but what it does is it's basically like rubber cement. That's kind of like the texture that you're working with. And so what you do is you heat up the cushion grip tube. I have totally lost my train of thought because a car drove in front of me. ADD. You want to heat up the tube of cushion grip, and you want to allow it to become pliable, so about 5 minutes in hot water. There are a lot of videos on YouTube which show you how to use cushion grip, but just like anything else, less is more. You want to build up on it, but you can use it on your denture, you can use it over a soft reline, and you can use it on your extraction sites. This is not an adhesive. Do not confuse cushion grip with an adhesive. It is a cushion. It's only meant to snug up your dentures and make it so that your denture fits more snugly and securely, and you can use adhesive over your cushion grip. So if your dentures are so loose that your lowers are flopping all over the place, or your upper is starting to dig into your skin or something like that, you can use cushion grip to kind of balance that out, especially along the upper edges where you're going to end up with sore spots. I don't know very many people that did not get sore spots up there. And also, most importantly, cushion grip helps with the one thing that I would guess 90% of denture wearers complain about when they first get dentures, and that is right in here, right behind the front teeth. For whatever reason, all dentures will cut into your gums, or not all, but most. If this happens to you, use cushion grip. You can use cushion grip to not only build up that area so that it's softer resting on your gums, but you can also kind of extend it back further under your tongue to give your tongue a smooth landing area, because when you're talking, your tongue is moving back and forth, and if you have a blunt edge there, your tongue is going to get caught on it all day, and you're going to get stuck talking. So you can actually make kind of like a little runway for your tongue to slide right up while you're speaking, so that you don't have new speech issues, which we all fight. So cushion grip is a pretty phenomenal product. You can purchase it at many CVS's, and you can get it on Amazon. I just buy everything from Amazon because it's just so much easier. But it's a super product, and I don't think any denture wearer should be without it unless you have really well-fitting permanents. So, but for early days with denture wearers, everybody should have Benzodent for pain. Everybody should have cushion grip to and on standby, because while they might be tight at first, they will get loose as the shrinking goes on. And everybody should have a nice little supply of different methods of adhesive, because what worked for you on day 3 may not work for you on day 7, and you might be back to the day 3 method on day 21. You know, you're going to go back and forth. I have used every single one of my denture products more than once, with one exception, and that is the Polygrip Free Paste, which I hate. Did not work for me at all. Might be somebody else's favorite. It might be the very best thing for somebody else, but it did not work for me. So, buy lots of stuff, spend way too much money. No, I'm just kidding. But that should help you guys out. If you're early days, be very, very careful. Experiment. Don't get it on your extraction sites. If you do get it on your extraction sites, you probably want to spend a long, long day rinsing with mouthwash. Do mouthwash swishes, because mouthwash will cut almost all adhesives eventually. But it's going to take some time if you get it in your stitches, so be very, very careful not to do that. So I hope this helps some people. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. But it is possible to wear adhesives very soon after extractions, and it is also very beneficial to wear adhesive soon after extractions, because it will prevent further sore spots. So, have a great day. Thanks very much for watching my videos.